What's up, guys? This is Don P from Don P Sounds. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. So check it out. I had a session to do a couple of weeks ago, and I have an interface that's really, really good, made by a very well-known company. It cost over $3,000. And for whatever reason, it just went out on me. I don't know what happened. It just went out. So I had this session that was very important that I had to knock out. It was a vocal session, and I had to use this. The SSL interface, the Solid Logic SSL2. Now, they also make this in an SSL2 Plus, but I just have the SSL2 because I originally bought it for traveling on the road and making sure that I could produce and hear what I was doing accurately with some good converters on the road. So this interface costs less than 10% of my $3,000 interface. The build quality is excellent. As you can see, the connections are great, all pro. It's heavy. It has USB connectivity. And this particular unit has a total of 2 inputs and 3 outputs, a stereo output and a headphones output. The SSL2 Plus actually comes with 2 additional outputs, which are RCA. So the RCA and the insert outputs, they switch on channels 1 and 2. You can use either. And then you have a second pair of RCA stereo outputs. And then you also have MIDI. So for anybody out there who needs MIDI in their setup, you definitely want to spend the extra $80, 70, $80 and get the SSL2 Plus. But for this review / overview of this machine and this story in terms of what happened to me, this is the unit that I was using. Okay. So, did this unit work out for me in the studio? Well, the answer is yes, it did work out. Now, is it better than my $3,000 interface? Well, that depends. So, what I initially did was ran it through a preamp that I had, which was essentially a Neve 1073 preamp, and to see how the interface responded with that preamp. And as you can see on this interface, it has the 4K pre's, and it has the gain here, and it also has basically these 4K magic input buttons. When you hit those buttons, it does give you that SSL 4K sound. And I know because I've worked on pretty much every board that SSL has created. So I know what it sounds like. SSL, if you don't know what it is, it's one of the most iconic pieces of gear that you can get. If you have anything in your studio SSL, it's going to be made with quality. So like I said, I went through my 1073 first, and it sounded great. I was actually very surprised. And then I said, well, let me not bypass the pre's here. Let me use these 4K pre's. And I was shocked with the results. I mean, it really shined. It sounded amazing. Those vocals went for a major movie, and the song was also used for several commercials. ESPN, NBA TV, Bravo, you name it. That song has been played and heard on all of those stations. Now, here's where the $3,000 preamp, the $3,000 interface differs from the SSL2. It's going to have less noise. So the SSL2, if you crank it, you're going to start hearing some noise. Now, the noise is not as pronounced as interfaces that, say, are a tier above that in terms of being more expensive. So you're not going to hear much difference between this $229 interface and, say, $1,000 interface. You just aren't. they have made the components well. The chipsets in here are great. The conversion is great. The DAs, D to A's and A to D's in here are great. So what this interface does that would appeal to anybody out there that's doing music, whether you're a pro or you're starting. It allows you to get your content, whatever you're recording, whether it's vocals or guitar or any other instrument, keyboards. It lets you get it into the system sounding great. And if you hit those 4K buttons, you're definitely going to hear that 4K sound if you're familiar with it from the SSL, the legendary SSL consoles. So is it better than my 3K interface? No. But did I get by and make a lot of money from the music that I created with this interface? Absolutely. Not everybody can afford a $3,000 interface, but I wouldn't be shy ever again about using this interface. It is amazing. So if you are in the market for an interface or like me was in the market for an interface you can take on the road, you definitely want to check out the SSL2 and the SSL2 Plus. All right. Till next time, guys, keep making great music. I'm Don P from Don P Sounds. Make sure you like and subscribe and also follow me. Everything is at Don P Sounds. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.